The day of reckoning has finally come for the Avalanche assistant coaches. Francois Allaire, Dave Farish, and Tim Army were all relieved of their duties earlier today. Allaire should come as no surprise. He had strong ties to Patrick Waugh and said he would be leaving after this season anyway. Farish was hired under Waugh in 15-16 as an assistant coach to run the defense. Seeing him go makes it look like Bednar is going to be bringing in all of his guys to run his systems his way, which is good. That's what we've wanted to see from Bednar from the start. To further enforce that, Nolan Pratt, the one assistant coach who had worked with Bednar in the AHL, is staying on for next season. But finally, the big one, Tim Army is no longer on the Avalanche bench. He'd been there for 6 years, dating all the way back to the Sacco era, and he was supposedly in charge of the power play for the Avalanche. Most of us were surprised he even made it this far. Apparently, what it took to get him out of here was the worst power play in the league that was sometimes as low as flirting with 10%. It only really takes one look at last year's power play to see how much of a disaster it was. Just far too stagnant and no one moving their feet. If the system was designed where the players were supposed to be moving their feet, you'd think that would be a really easy fix. You just tell the players to start moving their feet and skating more. But that never happened. All year long, it was an extremely stagnant power play with no one moving their feet, which leads me to believe that that was just inherent to the system they were running, which was Tim Army's charge. With these three, particularly Tim Army gone, the safety net for Jared Bednar is now gone, which is exactly what we wanted. It's sink or swim time for Bednar now. He can't defer to the assistant coaches who've been on the team longer. He's going to have to make all the big decisions, and he gets to bring in his guys who will back up all of his decisions. So the Avs will be looking for an offensive assistant coach, a defensive assistant coach, and a goalie coach this offseason. It is unclear on the goalie coach position about whether it will be full-time or part-time, but either way, they are still looking. Of the three positions, the only one that any information on a possible choice that's out yet is the goalie coach. The Avs are interviewing Dwayne Rollison for the position. Rollison had a very solid NHL career, playing in over 600 games and racking up over 225 wins with solid goals against average and save numbers. After retiring in 2012, he became a goalie consultant for the Anaheim Ducks farm team. At the time, that was the Norfolk Admirals, and a year after that, he turned into a consultant for the big club. He worked for the Ducks for 3 years before being moved out in 2016 along with Bruce Boudreau. As far as I'm concerned, I think he would be just fine as a goalie coach. All in all, I'm excited to see what new members Bednar and Sakic decide to bring in, and if it has any major effect on our systems next year. That is the end of this assistant coach firing review. Thank you for watching. Once they do hire some assistant coaches, I'll try to get a video up on them as well. I'm Rudo3, and let's make our power play great again.